redo, but that's League. Yeah. Make a couple big plays, you get so strong, and Bvoy has had an amazing series. Even in the loss, he was dominating on the Ezreal. I feel like if he has another good game here, he could be player of the week. I feel like he's, you know, really looking strong.
We can use our reach to sway votes.
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
I'm also with you. I was like, I'm putting my early half vote in.
Half vote?
Half vote. We got to see, because he could
we'll
drop,
go halfsies on
he
it.
could drop a stinker right now.
And then we'll take that back.
Take that half vote
back.
Take
that back, yeah. Give my half vote.
Honestly, though, Contractz also a lot of really good engages for Shopify, so very well capable of taking a series for themselves, which, given that this is the first game that they have won this year, would also be the first series.
That would be, they first game 3. They won 2-0 against Dig.
Oh, right.
They won 2-0 against Dig, but every other series, they lost 0-2, 0-2,
Wait,
0-2.
yeah, that was the opening blasting, too.
Yep. But in lock-in, they won 0 games, and then they beat Dig, and then they lost 3 series in a row, 0-2. So they had never actually gone to a game 3. They've never had a close series. Until now.
I love Caitlyn lanes right now. I feel like they're so good. All right, so doesn't have the the Bard pairing, but they're starting out with a very early Caitlyn. You can do any kind of like binding combos.
Well, Caitlyn Lux.
The Lux or the it doesn't happen a
People
lot
don't really
in
play
pro
more.
play.
Yeah. That binding is slow.
That binding is very slow, and
the ultimate is just useless. You're too squishy.
She's also not very good at laning, so. This is better partners.
Morgana just sucks, let's be honest. It is the unfortunate reality.
He just said it.
I did say it.
Okay, well.
Yeah. What,
am
I supposed to rush a Zhonya so I can use my ultimate? That ain't happening.
You need to play in the ARAM Mayhem so you can get the augment that lets you move around with Zhonya's too.
And a snowball.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, the super giant one.
Yeah.
Also, like
snowball augments are pretty OP. Morgana just needs snowball. We solved it.
Just need like a couple of ARAM Mayhem augments and it would be great.
That'd be funny if that was the new strategy for balance. If your champion's trash enough, you just get an augment at the beginning of the game.
They don't just give you buffs,
Yeah.
Plus 5 AD, that's boring.
No. You got a random augment at the beginning of the game.
Hell yeah.
Better hope you get a prismatic. That could be some free LP.
And everybody loves a little random chance. Everybody's a little gambler in them.
Especially the opponents. Yeah. When it goes against them, they love that.
Love. Okay, so tracking right back to the game here, we've got Jace versus Sion. Some poke damage into the big old tank here. I usually like the team fight value of the Sion, but if you're good enough on the Jace to get enough value, then sometimes like you can just get such a big lead in side lanes and really make it difficult for your opponents.
Also worth noting, that's the first time this split that Gakgos has lost on carry. Lost on the Rumble. He had been undefeated, so that was the first time for a game 3 for Shopify, and I just remembered.
Use the FlyQuest mom strategy, blame teammates.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It's not my son's fault.
But there's multiple moms, so then the strategy starts to fall off the rails.
Yeah,
because, Massu's mom wants to blame someone else, but then Gakgos' mom maybe wants to blame Massu, and then, then it's going to be chaos up there.
Okay, just listen to your own mom.
Yeah. Mom does know best. My mom specifically, not your mom, to be clear.
Wait a second.
You're like, wait, that's not true. wait a second. I can't stay true to that. Morgana. They don't agree with us.
It's a real champion right here, Azael.
They don't think Morgana sucks.
Maybe they heard the talk of augments.
Yeah, maybe they thought
did they put that in the game? Hold on.
Hey, that could be worth a pick. Let's see if Lux is going to get banned out as well then. Because Bard, as you said, obviously, is a common pairing with Caitlyn in Pro, but obviously Bard has been fearless out of there. And we'll see what the other pairings are going to be. Of course, you can just play it with whatever. You can play like, Alistar or Nautilus or whatever. But generally speaking, you want to play lane dominant stuff where you can push, you can farm plates, and that's usually where Caitlyn's
Yeah, I like stuff that can also, poke with Caitlyn. Or stuff that can set up her traps really well. Because you can go for combo kills like that and get some good Caitlyn combos. So, I mean, in the past, you've had stuff even like Thresh if you're really reaching out there. But don't think it's in the best spot right now. So, we'll see. Maybe
Elise support is more what they're worried about instead of Lux.
Caitlyn Elise is very, that is like the, the Elk on special combo there. That is very, very much worth ban.
And Nautilus, to be fair, obviously it's really annoying playing into Morgana because depth charge is so easy to respond to with Black Shield. So maybe that's why they were more worried about the Morgana than the Lux. And it is going to be Alistar, one of the other combos I mentioned. It's much less about the lane. Obviously, you can headbutt Pulve into a trap,
Setup,
but you don't necessarily have the guaranteed push. You don't necessarily have that poke. Going to be curious to see what AD carry Massu does go towards. A lot of the usual suspects have already been taken out, and you have the Nautilus pairing, so you're thinking about potentially a kill lane, maybe like a Kaisa or something, would be kind of what is making sense to me. But Smolder is very strong this patch, and I think Deathfire Touch Smolder is really strong. So the interactions with Black Cleaver are super powerful, and if you want to play alongside the Jace and you're going physical heavy, that could be pretty nice.
Yeah, and you're playing into a Sion and an Alistar frontline here, and a Zin. So you do need some mobility for yourself as well.
Stacks on stacks.
And it is nice too. You get you get your poke play style too once you get your rapid fire and some range there.
Are you a fan of the kind of new era builds though? Because obviously there is the standard like crit Smolder build, but I've been seeing a lot more of like Essence Reaver into Black Cleaver into Shojin, and then just like Endless Hunger or like defensive style builds, and they play it more of like a caster style build with Deathfire Touch. And 1 Q with Deathfire Touch, Black Cleaver, is 5 stacks of Deathfire Touch. And then once you get 125, you can start like AoEing onto it on people. So it's kind of a different playstyle, but I do think it's quite strong on the new patch. So I'm going to be interested to see if he does that or if it's just standard fleet crit.
I think it is also quite strong when you're playing against something like Akali, and you need a little extra HP. You know, a lot of these items, a little bit of extra HP could mean
now you're only overkilled by like 50 instead of 4,000. So it's.
I was gonna say the positive side. Maybe you have a couple extra HP, you live, but you know.
So the Akali E is Veigar ult, so it's hard to live if that hits.
It depends if you are already reverting to the strategy of blaming your teammate for why is this Akali so fed.
I was just getting on that early, you know. Yeah, I was listening to the moms.
Freaky, this fed Akali. Okay, so. This one going to be very interesting here. We've got a Smolder. In addition to the Hui and Jace, gives you lots of poke, lots of range on the side of FlyQuest.
And it is 4 melee champions versus Smolder and Hui, who have a lot of AoE. That is a lot of damage later on into the game if you're all stacking up for that. But it is a lot of champions to create space for Bvoy, who has been incredible so far in this series. So can definitely make a lot of sense there. And Massu is going to be playing Deathfire Touch. So Quad and Massu both playing Deathfire Touch. It is, I think, the better rune in a lot of cases. If you were playing against like Caitlyn Lux, maybe you'd still have to just go Fleet. You know, in some of those bad lanes, I think you still do. But Deathfire Touch, especially against 4 champions, when you're AoEing in these team fights, if you're not just getting one shot, you're going to get crazy value.
Yeah, definitely a good new rune that they have implemented. Far less Storm Raider Surge. I mean, that one was basically intended as a nerf to Phase Rush anyway, so intended to be a bit weaker. But bottom side, the burning continues. The Deathfire burns continue on these trades. Caitlyn getting the extra push here, just ever so slightly, but the brush control to the side of FlyQuest.
Yeah, and a couple of those Piltover Peacemakers in a row. That is 3 in a row that have hit Massu now. So Bvoy on point with those. Massu has not yet been able to sidestep them, and they, of course, are going to lose the race to level 2, and they're pretty far forward. It's going to be a flash in, and they're going to try to zone out Cryogen with the traps, but he's able to step between them. And at the end of the day, he doesn't even have to use anything. So it is the flash off of Seos, and he is not playing Hex Flash. So there is a pretty big cost there.
Yeah, definitely not the combo you're looking for exactly on the bottom side. But interesting thing is going to be that junglers are pathing to opposite sides as well. So the timing of it, they get their push in, and Seos has time to go ward and try and find the Jarvan. He goes for the option of putting the ward really deep up the river. So it's interesting because so many junglers have got to the point where they know and they expect the cutoff of the Phallites, and you're going to try and stay just up to the top side of it. But then if you put the ward organically further up the river...
Seos coming in mid here. They expect him to base. Good fear from Quad. Will keep himself safe.
Then you can see some of the junglers that are like saying just out of range of those instead. And so Seos here, he opts for the deeper up the river organic wards, and then with his body he also gets full vision. So everything's going to be known for the exact timings here, but it's not too exciting anyway. Just trade of the crabs, wave pushing toward them as well. So you drop 1 melee, that's about it. for Shopify here to go down, just out of range.
Yep, not bad whatsoever. Bvoy takes the ever so popular quick cull recall these days. If you can just crash those early waves, base, grab a cull, run right back with home guards, and the wave, is not going to crash before you arrive back. So, of course, Massu looks like he's very far ahead, but there's a ton of minions there for Bvoy to farm. As Quad and Zinie have now both TP'd back, and thanks to that little bit of help from Seos, Zinie was able to get a nicer recall off of that. Was able to get a lot more of the minions before he had to go back to base. Quad had been bullying him pretty effectively.
Yeah. And if we took a look at the hover here, Contractz has time before Krugs. Just spend it hovering just in case there's fairly low chance that anything happens, but in case Alice was fishing for a hook or something, then he would be around to do it before he goes into his second clear. Meanwhile, top lane going pretty well for Mr. Gakgos in his Jace vs Sion efforts in the early stages.
And Quad has been doing really well into Zinie. I mean, Zinie, of course, you are expected to lose, in these range versus melee matchups early, but Quad, even with the gank that he tanked, does have Zinie down low again, and Zinie has already used his potion, so if he gets hit by another couple spells, he might have to take a poor recall, and this time Cryogen is covering, as they know the Quad is going to be a little bit exposed pushing this in.
Zinie, though, pretty good focus on CS. And as long as it doesn't die and he can get his reset to buy off before he gets before he uses his ult and has the big burst damage.
Nice bit of poke there from Gakgos and lets himself step forward to be able to crack the first play here. Fudge going to take his first recall of the game. Is playing Comet tech, so this is old tech. You don't really see it as much these days. We see a lot more Spellbook, or sometimes people just default even to Grasp. But Comet was all about the E-poke back in the day. People used to do this a lot in these melee matchups versus range for Sion. So a little bit of a throwback, and of course the increased damage on Comet based on the range from which it hits is in this new season, and that's something that can be pretty easily applied with Sion because the E slows and kind of hit confirms the Comet.
Meanwhile, little hover on the bottom side back the other way. Gryffinn, before he's going to go into his Gromp as well. Control wards you see all the way down the river on red side, but Contractz is top side.
Oh, and no vision. Gakgos' ward has been turned off, and Gakgos is pushed pretty far up.
And Fudge has ult, too.
Yeah, this could be scary. They're going to look here. Sion ultimate coming forward. Gakgos, nice sidestep, and it's going to be able to go to the skies. Flashes back over the top. Is going to get knocked up here by Contractz and Fudge, but honestly, very well handled from a difficult spot.
Good moves there. Dodging out on the ultimate, going for the big jump. Meanwhile, Zinie is going to take a decent amount of damage again. But again, non-lethal damage still.
Oh, look at that hook. Bvoy in some trouble here. Massu pops the barrier to be able to absorb that headshot that was coming in here. And Bvoy may be having to go back to base, so Massu and Cryogen off of that play. They have bot side Prio, they have Gryffinn down there taking the dragon. They're going to be able to get overplayed as well.
Exactly. He's worried about, okay, where is Jarvan right now? They get the alert from the dragon being taken as his recall is going off, and it's going to be lost pressure for them. Dragon number 1 for FlyQuest going really nicely. Honestly, Massu is stacking really well too in addition to having this pressure, so FlyQuest definitely quite happy with the state, honestly, of all of the lanes, with Fudge not being able to make good with the gank from Contractz and truly get a kill on the Gakgos. Maybe there's an opportunity now that he doesn't have flash, but don't see it really, unless Contractz is going to make another point of actually sacrificing something on bottom side in order to go top again.
And Gakgos is going to recall after this wave anyway, so then the timing might not be there. So it might not be likely that they actually find the window. And of course, Fudge does not have ult or TP, so Gakgos decides to cancel the base, and he's going to be able to shove this wave in, take his recall, and should be feeling pretty comfortable about his position in this game. And we'll find out after Massu completes his expected Essence Reaver Rush which style of build he's going to be going for. Is it that more modern era kind of caster style build, or is it just the standard crit style that we have been seeing a lot? Seos here is level 6 and was trying to threaten a little bit of a wraparound as Zinie and Contractz are in the area. 4 members strong from Shopify on the bottom side. Quad has yet to move here. Cryogen is level 5 as well, as Bvoy is going to get a free headshot onto Massu there. So it's time to just give up that blue and take the small win of Quad continuing to push mid.
Yeah, let's see. Can he delay Zinie's return to the minions? Not really.
Ooh, Quad might be face-checking Contractz here. He's moving down. Contractz doesn't know if someone is behind him. Contractz, though, is in the back of the pit now, and he's either going to have to turn and fight or something. There's the flash in. The Spiraling Despair does come out. Contractz blocks that. Seos going in, has the ulti popped early. Quad has no flash. Mob comes to life. It's going to be first blood going to Cryogen as Seos was really deep in there. Zinie did not want to commit, and neither did Bvoy, and now Zinie running for the hills here. Cryogen does have flash as well as the depth charge. He could look to commit onto Zinie. Zinie trying to sidestep, flashes away, and they decide to just back it up as the teleport comes in from Seos.
Honestly, I love that from Quad so much. He's paying you back with the mid prio that he got off of your blue being stolen. After blue is stolen, okay, fine, but I'm pushing the wave in, so Zinie's going to have to go to the tower. The Akali's going to have to get those CS. We have another little fight over the support.
Depth charge going to be used here. Remember, Seos has no ult. Gryffinn is there as well. Flag, drag, little bit of damage from Quad. Seos does have the heal. The Cataclysm going to have to be committed, but they do get the kill at the end of the day as Zinie was pushing back, and now Cryogen going to land the hook. The root there to follow it up as well as Quad. Procs the passive, won't be enough to kill, but Cryogen getting active here on the Nautilus.
Yeah, really good responses from FlyQuest. After the blue steel play goes off, they end up getting 2 out of it. These Krugs, oh, Bvoy actually even gets the big Krug last hit.
Gryffinn going to be able to steal away most of the small ones, and of course did not have Smite, so did lose that one. Now looking for the Raptors, looking like should be able to get it probably, but the teleport is coming back in here from Zinie, and Seos is in the area, but Gryffinn with his Smite should be able to just take this and walk out, and will be able to grab the whole camp for himself.
Very nice stuff there, and that's all said and done. 1.2K the gold lead now for FlyQuest off of those plays, and we're keeping track. 73 stacks for Massu, 10 minutes is quite a nice pace. Of course, when it's double melee supports, always makes it a little bit easier. Get a couple extra stacks here and there when trading, and with the skirmishing going on too, and the collapse. Really, really nice. So there's your Essence Reaver done.
Yep, so Essence Reaver is done. Gakgos is working in towards his Black Cleaver, so with him rushing Black Cleaver, I feel like it's less likely that Massu would do that build. You don't really need to go for 2. Gryffinn is in the area here as Gakgos is going to be trading heavily and does win out on that trade, putting some pressure onto Fudge as he tries to walk through that decimating smash, but is still clipped for the damage, though not the knock-up. Fudge honestly doing a good job here, trading with Gakgos, you know, even with that grasp. Fudge is winning out in that skirmish, and it means Gakgos is going to have to go back to base as Gryffinn is clearing down to bot side, and they don't have eyes on Contractz until just now.
Yeah, he's got his sweeper on, so he sees that the Fey lights are lit up. He's going to go and grab those first.
Oh, they're going to look for him. Remember, Contractz does have his flash still, so he will be able to use it if he needs it. Cryogen, depth charge back to that wall as Gryffinn was in the area, but Zinie had first move, so they decided, you know what, we don't want to actually commit to it. Bvoy's coming first, Zinie's coming first, we would have been outnumbered.
All right, so still sitting in Dragon Pit here. They've got the Ocean Dragon pulled with the extra slow. They could collapse for FlyQuest here, circle around.
Massu is pushing bot. They want to get that moving in the right direction. Seos going to pop the ghost. Will be spotted on the side. They could look for Seos. Cryogen going to find him with the hook. Massu and Gryffinn are hitting him. There's the knockback. Gryffinn going to get hit into the team, but the Cataclysm comes out. Mom roars to life, and it's hitting across everyone. The Spiraling Despair is out. Contractz in the middle of the whole team. He's going to fall. The Sion will arrive, but it's already a lost team fight, and Massu is just stacking and stacking in this one. They're going to be able to get a couple of kills. 5-0 now for FlyQuest as they dominate that fight.
That is just so insane for FlyQuest. Incredible influx of gold here. And all the teleports being used, everybody is here. Look at the wraparound. So Gryffinn, he makes a good reposition here. I think this is critical because after this, you're going to see the Alistar flank around, and Seos timing on his initiation. Look at the Dragon. They're using all their spells on Dragon still. So Dragon now just goes down, but Seos is already 50% and popped his ult. And he just headbutt Gryffinn in. He can ult, EQ, and flash all the way out. And look at the AoE going down. Massu pelting from one side, Quad hitting from the other side. FlyQuest just melt them. It's kind of like you deliver the Jarvan for the Cataclysm without him having to use EQ to get in range to get there.
Oh, my bad. I guess I shouldn't TP.
Yeah, and TP's in, but obviously the fight was already lost before that, and you know I think it was more about the engage prior. So this is Massu, his normal stack timings versus, you know, this game, or excuse me, his first game versus second game, so these are standard stack timings, so we can kind of check in and compare. He's at 103 right now at 13 minutes. So in that second game, he did hit 125 at 13:33. He is behind that pace, but he is quite a bit ahead of his first Smolder game's pace.
Yeah, and looking pretty good as far as the 5-0 kill counts for their team as well. So team in a very good spot. In this situation, it's also going to be hard for you to blame your teammates if it goes wrong.
That's tough.
Because they're all doing pretty well.
Yeah, that is problematic.
Which is maybe the worst part of this.
That is absolutely devastating news.
I've got to need somebody to blame.
You're like, wait a second, what do I do here? Spiraling Despair going to get used there onto Zinie. Just a little bit of chunk damage, but it is a Ruby Crystal pick up for Massu. It might just be Shojin second. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Very strong item.
Yeah. But yeah, the team overall doing so well for every single lane, and then Gryffinn as well. So FlyQuest, a lot of positive stuff going on in the final game of the series. So Gakgos is actually getting to work here with his Black Cleaver, shredding the armor of Fudge and getting some extra pressure, plus a jungler that goes through a ward. Yeah. So they know that you're here, Gryffinn.
Gryffinn doesn't know that they know, but he is a little bit suspicious now. Will back it off as Cryogen up towards that top side. Quad going to get jumped on. Has to flash away from the Shirk and flipping on the other side. Contractz will push Gryffinn back. So Zinie in the 1v2 gets the flash off of Quad. Nicely done by him.
Yeah, a lot of threat in the side lanes here. The Akali versus Control Mage moving out to the side. Still have the Nautilus ultimate
round
for play, though.
He's going to wrap around again, and Zinie is going to get hooked into that Shroud, but yeah, they're just not having the confidence to actually follow up. They're like, we don't have the ult on Quad. We probably can't finish him off.
Yeah, I actually like the vision toggle here from Observer's. Nice little one, trying to show they don't know exactly how far people away are. Yoink!
Gryffinn going to be able to use the passive auto plus the smite to be able to knock that one down, and they do clear out the vision here and look to start up the Herald. Zinie had gone back to base, and remember, Zinie used his ult in that 1v2, so Zinie will be without the perfect execution, and Fudge also has no ultimate and is down bot side.
Yeah, meanwhile, Cryogen has just been holding his Nautilus ult. You know, didn't waste it in the exchanges up on the top side, so it's a very threatening ulti, even from the level 7 supports down here. Not usually the giant threat, but that thing very, very important for the Herald fights. And they grab the Herald, so FlyQuest can position that one later towards mid lane. They've got Massu here. Love farming in mid lane for Smolders, especially. I was going to say it. Raptors are up.
Very tempting.
Some junglers will say, "Here, take my extra Raptors for the
and
stacks."
Some will report you.
Some will say, "Go back to base and buy your Ruby Crystal and your glowing moat." There, buddy.
Yeah, and you're going to like it too. Zhao and Contractz laying a bit of a trap here. And now that Massu is past 125, if you have a big fight breakout and there are 4 melee champs there, you can get so many stacks in a good fight. If you can hit multiple people with your Qs and then hit them all with your W and your ult, you can get an acceleration of 20, 30 stacks in a team fight, no problem. As long as you are in a good position here. And they are clearly trying to start up this dragon. Good trap line there from Bvoy. FlyQuest have no vision really in the area, and would be a tough approach, but Cryogen now there with Massu. They have pushed in mid. Gryffinn going to pop the Cataclysm immediately onto Bvoy here. He jumps into the Herald, using it for a Battle Herald. He's going to try to chase after Bvoy. Bvoy flashed out of the back of the pit, so the Caitlyn's not going to be involved as well. Gakgos is here on the teleport looking on the side. Zinie threatening the flank on the other side. The Caitlyn is down towards the bot side. Fudge now going to be able to spot Gakgos. Dragon getting low. It's going to be claimed there by Gryffinn. Seos looks for the engage. Shopify, though, having to back up as Seos flashes back in, but the rest of the team was just leaving. Zinie getting hit by the depth charge. Massu not threatened at all. Seos has just thrown his life away as Gakgos bought some time on the other side. Zinie's going to have to run. The rest of Shopify just backs off as Seos kind of inexplicably just flashed in. Well, it felt like the whole team was leaving.
Yeah, because Contractz charged in and he tried to go for the smite steal. Gryffinn still got it, but he had to use a lot of his health and the Zin ultimate, so he's not way.
Massu could be in trouble, but look at the fear from Quad, the spiraling despair, and that is what Zinie feels as he's gonna burn down to the black fire torch and the death fire touch. Quad played that one beautifully to keep Massu alive.
There you go. That's a teammate.
Ooh, nice combo. Interrupting the depth charge there from Cryogen. Pops the exhaust. Bvoy in the area. There's no reinforcements, buddy. Send a letter home to your mom.
Or just across the audience out here. He's holding up a sign, actually. Help me! I mean, we were just about to talk about great peeling from Quad there, standing next to Massu, and
yeah, why didn't you peel for Cryogen?
Peeling the Akali off, but he's all out of peel. Gryffinn goes in, he puts down the Herald, and then wants to stick around, use the Herald to escape and kind of delay the start of this dragon. Then the little wrap around here. So look at the attempt for the smite, and we're going to look at Contractz goes in. He uses a lot of health and his ulti when they go for the steal, and then after that, it's pretty hard for you to continue the fight because you use a lot going for it. So like, boom, goes in, doesn't have much, and then Bvoy, Zinie's up here, Bvoy's down here, so nobody can really follow up.
Yeah.
With the Sion ult, and then they're hitting into the Jace.
Who has the TP shield. I didn't like that flash forward at all. I thought that was, they could have just maybe just left at that point, but it was always going to be a tough fight. I think Gryffinn had such a good start, the Cataclysm, and then he kind of starts driving the Herald towards Bvoy, and Bvoy just insta-flashes out. As soon as that happened, I feel like you're looking for a 50-50 and then you're leaving, because Caitlyn's never going to be a part of it. But
exactly.
They try to go for more, and FlyQuest now up over 4,000 gold, or just about, as they have 2 dragons to their name here as well. Zhao's going to get hit by the depth charge, does pop the Unbreakable Will to buy a little bit of time, but Gryffinn flag and drags out to safety, and every scrap is just more stacks there for Massu, who did in fact go Black Cleaver. So he is playing for that interaction I talked about. Does mean they have double Black Cleaver with both the Jace as well as the Smolder, but it is a really strong interaction. And how many stacks is he at right now? 193. So getting close to that 225. Probably next decent fight they have, he's probably going to hit it.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for Shopify, because when the Smolder's accelerated like that, even though you've got a really beefy front line, your tanks, they're basically, what did Flower say earlier today? They're damaged sponges.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was going to tell you you're a tank or you're a sponge, would you like to be the sponge?
No.
Or would you rather be like a real tank? Yeah.
I'd rather be a real tank.
It's not fun just being a sponge.
You don't know what you're soaking up as that sponge.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
You got these smolder boogers flying out.
Random stuff coming at you. You got to soak it up. That's gross.
So
I like to choose what I consume, you know?
Yeah.
I might still consume garbage, but I'm making that choice for myself as Fudge tries to find an angle here. Will not get anything. And Massu going to grab a stack for his trouble on the way out as he crosses that 200 mark here.
Yep. Quad split pushing up there. He's got his teleport on the Hui, and he's going to get some turret plate money for himself while the stalemate continues. So all going according to plan for FlyQuest here. Side lane's in good condition. Smolder just farming up mid and getting closer and closer to his 225.
Yeah, that is going to make it very, very difficult for them in these fights. But hey, you find the right team fight, you never know. The other thing with Smolder against Alistar, the dot is true damage, you know, past 225, right? So that is something that an Alistar never likes to see when you're so dependent upon your damage reduction from your ult. If you do not pop that thing early, sometimes you're going to burn down. People always used to talk about, you know, Olaf and champions like that. True damage does not care about Alistar ult at all.
No, unfortunately for Seos, it does not. Honestly, too, I think it's pretty hard to approach. Like, our Shopify's gonna send it on this next one. I think maybe you just give it.
Yeah.
You farm more, and you hope that your Caitlyn can get to a good spot. Like, maybe Caitlyn gets like Lord Doms or something, and.
Yeah.
But they're moving over towards it, so maybe they aren't going to drop it. I mean, Sion's walking you down too, so I think they're making a call. We don't even want to give Dragon Soul point over.
Gryffinn, flag and drags in there. That was pretty aggressive. Contractz trying to get in on him, but Gakgos putting a lot of damage down onto Contractz, and he's going to pop the Crescent Guard. Bvoy here is firing back. Mom comes over the top, but there is Fudge. The charge is going to be blocked there by Gryffinn, but the damage is massive, and Zinie is in the backline. The depth charge throws him over onto him. Quad and Massu still alive here. They are pushed back, though. They've killed off Gryffinn, and I think that means they've earned themselves the dragon.
That was a huge engage, and Shopify gets so much work done. Wait a second. FlyQuest are sticking around. They're teleporting back in. Here comes Jace. I think the Dragon's probably still gone, though.
This seems so risky. Gakgos is going to get found on the side by Seos, and Zinie has that teleport shield to buy quite a bit of time. Massu working on Fudge on the side. His quad is going to throw down the Spiraling Spear onto Seos. Should be okay with the Unbreakable Will. Good sidestep on that little orbital laser coming down. They do challenge, but they are not able to prevent this, as Gryffinn, you just should not be flag and dragging in blind with no vision.
Yeah, and I love Contractz. He never hesitates. This guy always with the killer instinct. So as soon as he sees the flag and drag, he goes in for the chunk. He goes in for another chunk, and he softens them up. He also groups them up for a huge Sion ultimate. And they do have people stepping in front, but you get the follow-up Q and into the knock-up as well. It's a little bounce house there. So Contractz like kind of creates a lot of these plays with just forcing action. He's like, okay, you EQ'd. I go for a little exchange. We chunk you out a little. I go in. I spend my ult. But you are also all grouping up in the jungle in this small corridor. And Fudge, that we called out, had been walking down the entire map the entire time. Got a really good line for a Sion ult, which set up Seos' follow-up and gets Shopify right back in it.
Yeah, that was a sick flanking ultimate there from Fudge. It hits multiple members, with that unstoppable onslaught, the damage. Gryffinn tried to flag and drag in to block it. Cryogen flashed in to try to block it, but 3 of them took the damage, and then 3 of them got knocked up.
And follow-up Q, too, so.
And that bought time for Seos to get in there, for Zinie to get in there, and then, the fight is going to be incredibly hard. But even with that, they did just kill off the one player. They did just take down Gryffinn. And FlyQuest still tied in Dragons, up with that 2,000 gold lead, but have to be a little bit more nervous after that one, thinking back to last game. They had a great start. It did eventually spiral out of control, and once again now, Bvoy is on 3 items. He is up about 1,000 gold, and Bvoy seems to be the consistent hope here for Shopify.
Yeah, and actually, he doesn't need the rest of the Lord Doms because he's got plenty of poke damage he can give out too with his rapid fire. He opted to go for that. So 3 items, and see if he can get some of these rapid fire headshots off on people. And
there's like no armor at all on the other team besides the Locket. The Locket is literally the only armor that they have here. But Massu now has obviously passed that 225. He's up to 270 stacks. And his Contractz is going to be going in onto Gryffinn, sends him backwards as Cryogen goes in. Seos going to be able to pop the unstoppable onslaught. Quad trying to get over here to the team. Seos has gone too far. He's going to burn down. That's a killing spree for Massu, as Zinie was threatening on the side, spotted by Gakgos. Gakgos is going to go hunting for him. And it just feels like Seos is kind of getting a little bit of an itchy trigger finger. He's jumping in. You don't need to try to overforce it in that spot.
Maybe because they didn't even get the trap combo as Quad walks into a trap.
Ooh, that is a bit of a combo there as the Spiraling Spear comes down on Zinie, and Zinie is spotted. I think he was spotted by the tower. He was too close to it in his shroud. He gets taken down. It's a double for Gakgos. They're going to pile in for more. Flashing forward is Gakgos, and on the side, Gryffinn is looking for Contractz. Fudge is going to fall. Massu is on a rampage. The flag and drag does not connect, but it does not matter. It's a double for Massu as well as the wheels fall off for Shopify. 12-2 now for FlyQuest. They head for Baron.
Quad is a genius. He walked on that trap on purpose. 5-head genius. Quad walks on the trap, eats the cupcake, and kills all of Shopify. That's going to be the Baron.
Here's on me.
Looks
he took a tower shot right there. Just got bounced around there, all flashing out.
I'm looking more. I'm looking on Zin. Watch me as well.
Yep. I'm looking Zen.
Yeah, this guy's no flash.
Hook in two.
Nice,
We can go Baron.
Nice.
I have TP.
Our base, guys.
They use AD flash there, right?
Yeah. Revan and all the Shopify fans not happy with that one.
Yeah, I mean, you called it out. It's Zinie even took a turret shot. He was too close, right? In the shroud. Was revealed, so gets spotted and just auto-attacked down there by Gakgos, and that shroud afforded him no safety whatsoever. And now the Shoujin is completed for Massu, so he is going for that new era build that I was talking about. And I also like, it looks like he's going towards Kanik Rookern as the next item. He's saying, you know what, literally the only way I can die is if I get one shot by Zinie. Well, guess what says no to that? A bunch of HP backed up by a bunch of MR. I think it's really smart. You don't really need more damage at this point. You can kind of just rely on the damage that you've already built up already, and all of the 300 stacks are going to be adding in that burn. So Contractz, Zeus, it's going to be up to that kind of front line to find some sort of a play to maybe pick off Massu or Quad at the start. Otherwise, it's hard to imagine a fight in which they can win because the consistent damage is very high on the side of FlyQuest.
Yeah, FlyQuest damage is huge. They also have priority over the Dragon. I mean, this one you for sure give up. It's still only number 3. And it's not going to be game breaking, so you're just hoping for the dream miracle defense for Shopify.
And you know it's less and less likely when you have to add in more descriptors there. You know, it's not just the dream defense, it's not the miracle defense, it's the dream miracle defense. That's when you know it's really desperate.
Yeah, it's when you're
if Kobe adds a third one, you're cooked.
You're in your dream, and even in your dream, you're like,
probably
I'm gonna
can't
need a
do
miracle.
that. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You know, hey, in your dream, you might be able to dunk. But in your dream, you probably still can't dunk on Wemby. You know, it's probably not going to happen. Your mind's like, all right, brother, let's relax.
Like, wait a second. I am
That
dreaming.
guy's like 9 feet tall. The math's just not working out here.
All right, teleport in here. Actually, the 4-1 split push is going to be sped up a little with the teleport from topside. They're getting Gakgos here involved early. Everybody going to rotate on over and actually get a hook.
Fudge taking a ton of damage now. Is pretty tanky, but not tanky enough. Massu is dominating, knocks him down. The DPS that FlyQuest has is terrifying. He steps forward and just gets locked up with no flash. Couldn't get into the Cataclysm, and just fish in a barrel there for FlyQuest, as now they're pushing in on that bottom side. 4 members strong in mid lane with Gryffinn pushing in the waves through bot. Zinie barely avoids the dredge line there, but they will have to sacrifice this first inhibitor tower as well as the inhibitor, and we'll see how far FlyQuest wants to go. Their family very happy about this turn of events. SR does not have great wave clear. Cryogen, dredge line in, looking for an angle to try to close this game out. Zinie tanks the shock blast, will be able to clear up that wave, as FlyQuest just going to back it off and clear up some of these camps.
Yeah, take all the jungle as payment. Contractz wants to defend here. Can they make a crazy play?
And Gryffinn doesn't have his flag and drag just yet. He's going to get comboed. Now going to be able to flag and drag. The locket comes in. The Crescent Guard is popped, and Contractz knocks down Gryffinn, who was trying to do the red and flag over to the Krugs at the same time. And that's both his deaths have been a bit of a greedy use on that flag and drag, it feels like.
And I like this from Contractz from Shopify. Obviously, they're so far down. They're like, we got to make something happen, please. And the Jace has no teleport, and the Jace is topside, so I'm chasing. Like, they are not stealing my stuff. I'm pretty sure that Quad was showing in mid lane as well. So he's, doing the math. He's like, there's not that much damage that can come out of the Fog of War here. So good chase from him. They punish Gryffinn, take him down. However, they're still so far in the hole. It's definitely too early to celebrate. No hand.
Still a multiple descriptor comeback, you know? Yeah. We haven't closed the gap to just one. And the Kana Krogern is completed, so it's going to be a super miracle engage to be able to take down Massu for sure. He is very tanky at this point. Grabs a Vamp Scepter on top, probably working his way in towards a Bloodthirster if the game gets there. Is almost at 350 stacks, so it's going to be very difficult to take down, and is really pumping out the damage at this point of the game.
I feel like there's a game where, okay, a lot of them are contributors to damage. See, everyone gets like, oh, I can do a pretty close share. You see Quad, Massu, and Gakgos as well.
Where's Zinie's share?
Yeah, wait a second.
He's sharing with Cryogen.
Zinie, 6.9K down there. He's in it for the memes. That's about it.
He's got to be careful. If Cryogen gets a good depth charge, he could pass him. That's scary stuff. FlyQuest.
Dude, if your support ends over you in damage at the end of the game, there's got to be like, you know how there's, you get like medals and like accomplishments. There's got to be like a title for that. I don't know. The title's not going to be a good one.
No, it's not. Massu stepping forward here, not scared of Contractz whatsoever, and Gakgos and Massu poking down Contractz pretty heavily there. Gakgos now up to level 19. As that Ignite does get poked off though, so we'll see if they can find an engage. Gryffinn threatening forward on the side as Contractz trying to heal back up. Fudge does arrive with the teleport. Mom gonna do a lot of damage there to Zeus. He is down about 20%, so one Smolder Q would take him out. Zinie has to bail out on the flank as they are heading over towards Baron. All-in pings from FlyQuest are being spammed out. That Baron's up in 5, and they want to try to take it on spawn.
I mean, see a lot of pings from Shopify towards mid-wave. They're getting mid-prio, and they have a Sion angle.
Quad will be pretty split. I mean, he's going mid, so maybe they can try to contest, but it looks like they don't think they have a chance, so they're just going to give it.
Too hard to face check into the darkness. There, the pings were like, maybe we could get an objective bounty off this mid turret, but they couldn't even get that.
Depth charge is up and available. It does hit him with the dredge line. Fudge gonna pop the unstoppable onslaught just to try to run away. Contractz in trouble, pops the crescent guard there, trying to stay alive for a little bit of time. Nice knock up there onto Gryffinn. Seo's flashed in on Massu. Massu has to flash out. The unbreakable will has been popped. Contractz going back in, but has no crescent guard. He's gonna burn down. Massu goes godlike. Fudge is burning as well. Zinie gets a massive shutdown on the Gakgos. That's 1K. Zinie's into the backline. The Spiraling Spear gets popped though, and Zinie gets deleted as all the kills go to FlyQuest there. 18-4. They wipe them off the map. It's an ace for FlyQuest.
And they're going to wipe Shopify off the stage with this one. The series will be completed. FlyQuest, congratulations with their families in attendance. They're going to take it.
FlyQuest gonna get the job done here. A dominant game 3. Great performance from the carries. Massu and Quad carrying a lot of the load in this one, looking really strong in the team fights. FlyQuest gonna take down Shopify, move to 3-2.
FlyQuest, all right, climbing up the ladders here, putting some separation between them and the bottom teams, feeling very comfortable about playoffs for themselves. Yeah. And this is a very young team that are looking towards some pretty quick success.
Yeah, I mean, this is now week 5 done, so there's only 2 more weeks left, and they are 2 games ahead of both Shopify as well as DSG, and they are 3 games ahead of Dignitas. Only 2 teams missed playoffs, so FlyQuest in a really good spot. Of course, you know, we'll have to see how everything does shake out, but they got to be happy about this one. Climbing up the standings a little bit more, and Shopify on the other side going to be very disappointed to have dropped this series that now puts them to 1-4, tied with Disguise down there. And they are, you know, right on that knife's edge of potentially missing playoffs. They're going to have to start picking up some wins in a hurry.
They certainly are. FlyQuest, though, this roster, you know, put together, you know, looking at the long play, basically, trying to build up. And I remember at the beginning of the year when we talked to Gryffinn, he was like, yeah, I don't expect a lot of success at the very beginning, but by the time Worlds rolls around, I think we're going to get one of the World spots, so that would be top 3 for them. And, you know, we're still only in the first half of the year, so they are on pace, and we do have Gryffinn ready for the interview with Raz. Take it away.
All right, Gryffinn, I'm going to need you to show the back of your jersey on this one.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, I got the shot of your basically your family, or specifically the parents, moms of all of FlyQuest here. Yeah. First of all, how has it just been having your mom here, and did you get to see them at all?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's super cool. Can I hold this?
Oh, go for it.
Okay. No, it's super cool. Like, I think for Mother's Day, FlyQuest like flew out our parents, so it was definitely a nice experience because I haven't like seen them in a while, probably like 4 months, 5 months. So, and then they came, saw like how being a pro gamer is very like new to her, so it's like very fascinating. And no, it's really cool that she came out, and I really wanted to win for her today. Because if we lost, that would have been awkward. That would have been awkward. All the moms come to lose, so make sure we won.
Is there, because Mother's Day is coming up, so like, is that the gift? What's the gift? What's the thought process here with next week being Mother's Day?
Yeah, no, I think FlyQuest just wanted to like treat us for Mother's Day, like fly out our parents, so it was really nice.
Okay, and perfect. And like, the thing is, especially I want to talk about the Shen jungle if possible, because you've been somebody that's been really embodying all of these different type of picks. And even though, yes, it came up with a loss, like the early game was incredibly cool. Just like talk to me about the Shen jungle in particular, and just basically being as experimental as you are.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that game 2, that was the freest win, but we kind of just trolled a bit. But yeah, no, I think Shen jungle in particular is a very good like neutralizer. He's really good against like champions that like, well, I picked against the Vi. Like obviously it's pretty easy. Vi R's the person, you are the person Vi ultied, and it kind of like neutralizes her. So honestly, that game should have been a free win. We could have trolled a bit, but it is what it is. But yeah.
And like talking about that a little bit, a lot of teams will give you guys a lot of credit just because of how big your ceiling is as a team. That you can beat any of the top teams, and I guess like a lot of these games can be really scrappy. your next 2 series are going to be against LYON and C9 in the rest of the regular season. What's something that you guys are hoping to really rally and get better at going into the next 2 weeks?
I just think overall, like, I mean, it's meant for us is like mid-game, like team fight setups, and just overall being more consistent. Because I still think we're a bit inconsistent. Like sometimes we play really well, sometimes there's some days we play really well, some days we play really bad. So just like working on overall consistency and like developing consistency throughout the games between our like mid-late game and team fight setups and team fights. Yeah.
Thank you. And final message to your mom who came out here. Just anything that you want to be able to say to her?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just really glad that like. So growing up, my mom was super supportive, but now she's like super supportive now that like I made it to the big leagues. So I'm just really glad that like she's able to support me so much and like care so much. I think even though when growing up she didn't give me the most support, I think in general it's like very lucky to have such a supportive family. And now that I'm like in the tier 1 leagues, that she supports me a lot, I'm really grateful because I know you know, some parents or like you might not get as many opportunities or something like stuff like that. So I'm really grateful that she supports me so much.
I'm actually going to expand on that because at least for me, I know my parents didn't understand it at all, right? Straight from Ethiopia, they had no idea. So like, what was the process like for your parents or even just your family kind of getting an understanding and just starting to support the idea?
Yeah, so it was actually funny because they did some interviews, and my sister showed me a thing. My mom would do like, when she was younger, she'd just take away my PCs and stuff, and like, oosh, 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 you know, like, hey, go to school and stuff. Yeah. But then like when I started like taking the game more seriously, became more professional, she saw the paychecks coming in, she's like, hey, do what you want. So I'm really grateful that even though it's a foreign concept to her, obviously she's an Asian parent that doesn't know much about gaming, and gaming in general is very new and is not of this or her generation. Yeah. She's still very supportive and very open to the idea, even though it's very foreign to her. So I'm really grateful for that. Yeah.
Hell yeah! Congratulations one more time and keep trucking, brother. I cannot wait for playoffs. That's I'm sure going to be great for you guys. So thank you again and congratulations, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
Boom! All right, sending that one straight back to the lounge.